Hello, welcome to Healing Fire. My name is Judy. We are live number 21. We've come a long way in the last few months. Thank you everybody for joining. Everything on this video, it's now alive. It will be a video, and also on this channel is for entertainment and spiritual purposes only. So, hey, welcome. Who do we have somewhere? We have a few lurkers. Maureen, good to see you. Thanks for joining. Skyfire, happy Sunday. And Jade Flowers, you finally caught alive. Yay, thank you. So I have my coffee. We are good. Nessa, Mangled Unicorn. Hey, everybody. Everybody's coming on in. So yeah, I was slammed all day at work. I didn't even get lunch. So I came home and grabbed a quick bite to eat and made some coffee, and here I am. So, oh, wonderful. Tinkerbell. Hi, that was my mom called me that when I was little. So hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in. Really appreciate you all. If anybody has any questions or things you want me to read on, feel free to put them in the chat. If you, depending on time we have left, I may do card pulls if there is time. So we'll see what happens. So did you guys hear about X giving the option of you can see where people are from, and it has exposed all of the bot farms and troll farms all over the world, India, South Africa, Chile, just all over, where they're all the supposed American megas slam all of the comments and the news feed and everything else. Most of them are not even from the United States. So and then of course F45 got wind of that and went bananas. And not long after that, that feature was taken down. So we don't want you to see that these are troll and bot farms that are everywhere around the world, but actually in the United States. So when you start feeling like, what is wrong? Like how is it that so many people could support this lunatic? Just realize that most of them aren't even from here. So what a crazy, crazy, crazy thing. Why is MTG waiting so long to leave? Why is she still here? Yeah, I'm not on X either. I left Twitter when F45 really became a thing, and I couldn't handle it. And then when Musk officially, I kind of just didn't engage a lot at that point. But then when Musk actually officially took over, it was so clearly mega troll that I just I'm out. I don't even do it. In fact, I have Facebook. I rarely go on it anymore though. I'll cross post some things. If I, which a lot of them are political because, me, I'll post pictures of, family, or if I'm camping or hiking or whatever. But I don't go on there a lot anymore. I just can't, because I go on there and literally within minutes, I am just so mad because there's just so many megas. So now I'm really wondering how many are actually real. Although Yeah, I don't even know because they feed you people whether or not you're friends with them and their comments and stuff, and it's just like, so I just can't. And I tried Blue Sky for a while, and I just couldn't get into it. So the only reason I don't totally close down Facebook is because there are like people I grew up with, like that's how we've connected, and things like that. So, and people can reach out to me on Messenger and that, but other than that, I just don't go. Pretty much live on YouTube. That's what I do. So, Catfoot, I like that. Hello. Jade, what will come of the person who was the only one who voted no to releasing the files? Yeah, that was weird. Totally political, I'm guessing. Maureen, I pose that question every day with the orange poo. Yes, beautiful, sane people. Angel, how are you? I don't know how sane we are. I mean, that might be a stretch, but well, for that matter, don't know that I fall in the beautiful category either. However, thank you. I appreciate the sentiment for the collective. Anybody else not looking forward to Thanksgiving because of mega in-laws? Oh my God. Okay. So, yeah. Yeah, that's a rough one, man. The mega in-laws, and there's so many people. I'm actually choosing to go spend my time in the hospital with my grandbaby, and so I'm not going to my parents' house, but they deliberately chose a group of people to be there that are very, very mega, and they told me, don't talk politics and don't engage. And so I kind of, I've spent a great deal of my life being told what to do and what not to do, and in bad relationships. And I'm like, after all these years and after a lot of self-healing, I'm kind of over that. And so I said, well, that's fine. You can have, you have who you want to have here. I'm not going to participate. And they're absolutely blown away and shocked because I'm the one that would always show up. Right. And I said, yeah. And my mom's like, why? And I said, because I don't like them. And I don't feel like spending a day off with people that I really don't like. And I was told not to say anything or bring it up. But if they bring it up, I'm still not supposed to say anything. So that's not how I want to spend my day. But that's okay. You do you. That's cool. And so I'm like, I'll go spend time with the baby in the hospital. And yeah. So there's that. And so I'm like, okay, well then my daughter-in-law and her mom invited me to before they go see the baby, do you want to come by our Thanksgiving? And then we can all go see the baby together. Oh, lovely invitation. That sounds, absolutely delightful. I'm like, oh, great. Because they're definitely not megas. And, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And she's like, by the way, my husband's parents are very mega. Don't talk. And I'm like, oh my God, I just stepped into the same thing. Like, okay. So, I'll probably still just stop by my parents' house to, hi and make an appearance. And since I'm going to end up dealing with it no matter what, and then go over there a little later, and then hopefully we can just skedaddle off to the hospital. I'm like, you cannot escape it. I can't. Why are we all being forced to deal with these people? I just don't know. Skyfire. I closed my accounts on Facebook, Instagram, and Messenger back in January and reactivating it. Shooting Star, you're the one blue dot. Oh, so sorry. It's not worth it. Like the mental health, it's just not worth it. Catfoot, can't wait until the orange lion, crybaby, antagonist, and thief is gone. You and everybody else. I look every day to see, and I'm always let down. Seriously, I know. Oh, did I miss something? I must have missed something. I don't know, I'm trying to scroll back and catch up. It's moving right along. Skyfire, you asked how the baby's doing. He's doing very well. He's off his CPAP now. So they took him off because it started, the pressure of it was starting to kind of deform his head, basically, with the straps around it. And because you know how malleable their skulls are when they're babies. And so they took him off that just to see how he would do and just gave him oxygen, and he did well. And so he's permanently off CPAP now. So all tubes out. Well, there's a feeding tube still, but no intubator, no chest tubes, no CPAP, just little oxygen things. So he is doing marvelous and has gained like 1.5 pounds, I think, which is really good. So he's doing very well. Thank you. Maureen, we don't discuss politics because it causes tension. And right now my dad is in the hospital, so we aren't going to celebrate Thanksgiving until he comes home. Oh, well, I hope your dad heals quickly and completely and gets home to you quickly. So I hope he heals up and is doing okay. I'm sorry about that. Shooting star, I just stick in some earbuds and watch my channels. I don't engage anymore. Yeah. Yay, baby peanut. So yeah, he's doing really well, and it's really funny because he gets he's very expressive in his face, and you can tell when he's frustrated or mad or irritated, and he looks just like my son when he's mad. And you know how when you're a first-time parent, you think you're going to have all the answers and your kid is going to do this and that and this, right? You're right, until you know better, right? And little one has red hair. And so I said to my daughter-in-law, and I'm like, because they sent me a picture with him scowling and it looks the same as my son. I go, so my son thinks that he's going to control this little human with red hair and it's not going to be a problem. I said, this will be fun. Can't wait to see how this turns out. Maureen, yes, he is a redhead. I love it. I was so excited. I'm like, yes. My daughter-in-law's mom is also a redhead. So both Grahams are redheads. Yeah. Good luck. Both redhead grandmas. A firecracker. Yeah, I know. And he is feisty too, which is great. I'm going to get great enjoyment out of this. Karma. Yeah. Although he was very busy, but he wasn't, he got into a lot of stuff, and he was very, like, he was one who was, he couldn't walk yet, but he would drag things over to be able to climb up and over things like the baby gate. You know, he would find a way to drag things over that he could crawl up, and then he would, honest to God, he would crawl over the baby gate. He started in his crib. As soon as he was able to, he would find a way to climb up over the side. Swear to God, he would hold on. He knew to drop, to like stretch out his arms and then drop to the ground. He was a little escape artist, I swear. And then when he was 2, my now ex-husband was, it's kind of a personal story. He was in the restroom and was not responding to my oldest son, who wanted his attention. And so my son went out to the garage, got a screwdriver, and managed to pick the bathroom lock to get in there. And my ex was just furious. Why did you show him how to do that? I'm like, I didn't. That's all your DNA. Sorry. This is what we dealt with. So the oldest one here thinks he's going to control his redhead child with who's feisty. Yeah, this will be fun. Oh, he's gonna. Yep. Yes, indeedy. What's funny is my oldest son is the mega, and my daughter-in-law definitely not. Her mom definitely not. Me definitely not. All of her friends, like he has so many women surrounding him who are Democrats, and we're all like, we're not going to let you grow up to be a Republican. It's okay. You have a ginger brother and a ginger niece, Maureen. Oh yeah, it happens. What's fun is that I was adopted, and I was the only redhead in the family growing up, and really in my school. Like I was it. I was the anomaly, and so everybody's like, "Oh, where do you get the red hair?" I'm like, "I don't know, because I was adopted." Like. So then when my brother, see, I had two older brothers, the younger of the two, when he had his kids, he had two girls. The youngest one is a redhead. I'm like, oh, cool. And then both my nieces from him, they both have redhead kids, I think. And then, so there's red on that side. You have to have, both parents have to have it in their recessive gene to get a redhead child. So my boys, I have two boys, they're neither of them redhead, but they get red in their beard, right? So usually when I see that, I'm like, ooh, there's the red. There I am. And so of course with my daughter-in-law, with her mom being a redhead and her grandma being a redhead, and then my son, with me being a redhead, I'm like, oh, you're totally going to have a redhead baby. So, and they do. I was so excited when they took his little cap off and I got to see his hair for the first time. I'm like, yes. Susie. Hi, Susie. Says, we are all left, but we don't talk politics because we just don't want to get worked up. Fair, honestly. By the way, we are all redheads, so no ginger snapping going on. Cat Mom, hi, how are you? Okay, coffee time. You guys all know I like my beverages. I'm having coffee. So, and my moods generally reflected on my coffee mugs. So if you're delicate and don't like naughty words, look away. But this is my this is where I'm at after a day of customer service and retail. It wasn't a bad day though. It was just really busy, which is fine. It's okay. So how did the meeting go between Mom Donnie and behind closed doors? Oh, that's a good question. Yeah. Okay. So I did want to bring up also Old Windwalker. Hi, welcome. Thanks for popping in. So did anybody happen to see any of the statements or the interviews of those that went to the G20, which effectively is the G19? I caught some of the statements and the interviews by a few of the different leaders, and basically they were all like, oh, it's so much better without Trump here. We got so much more done. And one of them even said, and I can't remember which one it was. I have it noted on my phone, but I don't know. Anyway, one of them was like, yeah, all he wants to do is talk about himself and go play golf. Like he doesn't want to get anything done. We got so much more done without him here. So, and then of course, F-45 got all mad because they were all happy he was gone or that he wasn't there. He was, hoping to put his foot down and make a statement. And they're all like, oh, sweet, you're not going to be here. That's amazing. And they made this pact agreement because they all agreed on it. Everybody who was there, which were the 19, this pact agreement of what's going to happen. So they didn't have to worry about his bluster or his dissent or his crazy whatever he is. And they all just, they thought that it was great. So they got this, the resolution through and what their expectations and multilateral trading, and which is completely opposite from F45, because he's wanting to exclude everybody and just deal with unilateral trading, which is insane, especially in today's world. And they're all just like, oh, great, we got all these trade agreements, we got all this global economic agreements, we have these goals, we have all these ecological goals, all this. I mean, they basically put everything through that was completely opposite of that, which is F45. It was marvelous. So then when F45 heard how happy they were that he wasn't there, then he's like, well, maybe we'll send an envoy to one of your committees or whatever. And they're like, yeah, well, we're all done. So because they did it first thing, I guess they collaborated and just like first out of the gate, this is our agreement we've all agreed to. So he couldn't send somebody later and like ambush them. They just got it done. It was brilliant. It was amazing. I have a man's voice. Okay. That's cool. Pamela Mall. That's a weird comment. Yeah, I'm not probably a good radio voice. I do not have the best voice, but whatevs. It is my voice. F45 was just drooling one day. Yeah, I haven't figured out what that is. I thought about trying to go into a session with my guides and saying what's up, but yeah, I saw a part of an interview with Mom Donnie afterwards, and he's like, yeah, we were just focused on New York. So, and I know F45 always wanted to be mayor of New York and never was. So that's interesting. Yeah, I'm very curious about that. Like what's he playing at? It is interesting. Thank you, Maureen. Thank you, Catfoot. That's me. Ray of sunshine. Cheers. His dementia is getting worse. He may have been on happy meds. Yeah, I don't know. He is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But I did want on the whole G20 thing. There was a report I saw. 1 second here. I want to get it because I want to read it. There is a glacier. Yeah. There is an Antarctica. I can't talk tonight. I'm so tired. I'm sorry. That's why I'm drinking coffee. Antarctica glacier that has lost nearly half of its ice in 2 months. It's the Victoria Glacier. It's about the size of Philadelphia, which is, I mean, it's small, but still Philadelphia. But the bigger concern is that it's not a good trend, that it's lost half of its ice in 2 months is a very alarming trend. So I wanted to point that out. And there's a whole, let's see here. I read this whole report on climate change report that was out, that there are rapid temperature fluctuations. They're destabilizing. The temperature fluctuations are destabilizing the animal populations, and the effects are accelerating as the temperature changes more quickly. So it was starting to warm, decades ago, and now it's warming more rapidly. So the warmer it gets, the faster it gets even warmer, basically, is the trend. So it's the speed at which this is happening is making it difficult for the natural adaptive process for animals to keep pace. So normally animals adapt and they're like, okay, well, our food source is starting to wane here, so we'll look for it over here. The problem is that process can take years or decades or sometimes centuries. Now the animals are having to adapt like rapid time, and some of them won't be able to, and some of them are, but it's really strange because as they Well, I'll read what it says. So animals are employing a range of strategies. Both land and marine species are moving towards the poles or higher elevations to find cooler temperatures. Some of the marine species have shifted their ranges more than 17 miles in a decade. They said there's a phenological mismatch. There's a disruption of time. This is what I thought was fascinating, which makes total sense. I didn't think about it. There's a disruption of timing of natural cycles, causing species to depend on one another. So they're all depending on one another to fall out of sync equally. In other words, for example, a bird may arrive at its breeding ground to find that its critical food source has already matured and gone, right? So the way that it's set up, it's like, okay, well, this is my breeding ground, and this is the food I eat in my breeding ground to keep me healthy so that I can breed and have babies and all that. But whatever it is they eat, whether it's plant or animal, that's, they count on that going through its own cycle, except that its own cycle is not there when they get there. So everything is getting out of whack, and it's causing a bit of chaos, or they call it a phenological mismatch. I hope that makes sense how I explained it. So it's producing rapid evolution adaptation, change in feathers and fur, they say. There's a greater tolerance for animals. There is a greater tolerance to stressful climate situations. And there's having to be a shift in breeding patterns because of this. Food source is a big part of it. Marine life has hit the hardest. 90% of excess heat on the planet is absorbed by the oceans. So thus they are more turbulent. There's melting glaciers, there's rising waters, there's warming waters. Coral reefs are dying off. 70 to 90% of the coral reefs are threatened. 70 to 90%. And basically the coral reefs serve as nurseries for a lot of marine life. So they go there to have their babies. That's where the babies stay safe. They hide in the coral. There's a little food source. So they're like little baby nurseries. So I thought that was interesting on that little information, especially with the G19, we'll call it, since the United States isn't participating. I worry about living on Miami Beach. I'm afraid I'll wake up and the town will be underwater. Yeah, they're saying that the ocean is expected to rise about 2 feet over the next a decade or something. So a lot of beach towns are gonna have to move back or sink. So yeah, polar bears are mating with different bears for survival. Oh, I didn't hear that. Really? Oh, polar bears. Poor polar bears. I love polar bears. Your voice is just fine. Doesn't sound like a man's voice at all. Yeah, my voice is my voice. I've never been particularly fond of my voice either. So if you don't like it, that's okay. You can go to another channel that has a more soothing voice for you. That's okay. T-Rex Granny. Yeah, polar bears are a cross between a Klondike bear and a grizzly bear. Are they? I did not know that. Oh, that's fascinating. And now they are mating again because they don't have enough. Oh, poor polar bears. I saw where scientists noticed 2 rivers in Alaska looked red from satellites. So they went to find out why, and the permafrost was melting. It has never melted before, so it turns the water blood red. Ew. Yeah, the other thing that's happening, microbes are being released into the atmosphere and into the water. Microbes that existed, ancient microbes, things that perhaps at one time there was immunity to, but now there's not. Things that existed a long time ago that are now being released into our atmosphere and our water, and they are creating some viral challenges for humanity, apparently, and this is expected to supposedly get worse. So I want to dig into that a little bit more and find out more information about it. But I heard about that too. And my youngest son, he did a class on all of this in college, and we got into a conversation about it. Oh, it's been a couple years ago now, but I'm curious. I want to dig up some more information on that. I remember I read a couple of articles on it, but I haven't looked into it recently. So I'm curious where all that is. Ancient microbes are scary. Yeah, they quite literally could take us out because they're being released, and we have no defense. So that'll be fun. Cat mom, it's not so bad being in my 60s. Please research the topic. I would love to know more. Yeah, in fact, I need to write it down, because if it's not written down, I won't remember it. I don't remember what I did 10 minutes ago half the time. So this is my latest notebook of things I want to chat about on the channel. I'm going to make a note of that one so I don't forget. We'll say ancient microbes. We'll see what I find out. Cool. Yeah. Oh, this is another one. I was thinking the other day, I'm like, what is the happiest country in the world? And I know I've seen like different reports of this country is the happiest place in the world. And then I thought, what's the happiest country in the world and why? And then how can we be that? This is kind of where my brain was going one of these random days. And I got the happiest, most content country in the world is Finland. For 8 consecutive years on all the levels of wealth, trust, and Social Security, basically. Versus the United States recently fell further out of the top 20 for the first time ever, landing at number 23. So no longer in the top 20 for the first time ever. Winning, driven by a sharp drop in well-being by the under 30-year-old group. That I thought was interesting, that there is that much of that age group affected the overall statistics that much. I thought that was interesting. So the difference comes down to societal priorities and structures. Finland is a social democracy within a fundamentally mixed market capitalist economy. I thought, now that's interesting, because it sounds like, well, isn't that kind of what, AOC and Bernie, like what they're going for, and almost, but not quite, apparently. So let's see here. Here it is. Finland is an example of a highly regulated, heavily taxed welfare capitalism, not democratic socialism. So democratic socialism seeks to nationalize or abolish private enterprise, and it seeks to regulate and heavily tax it to fund the robust social safety net. Whereas Finland, basically they're heavily taxed, but it pays for everything. So, I would rather be heavily taxed and know that I never had to pay for healthcare or retirement I'd be perfectly fine with that. I mean, I bring home 56% of my paycheck as it is. Take another 6%. If it gives me all of that, fine. So let's see here. In Finland, they have high quality universal health care. They have heavily subsidized childcare, generous paid parental leave. The citizens apparently trust their government and their police and their public institutions and one another. So a high level of trust all across the board. Low perceived corruption because they're not bought by corporations. And the people as a whole believe their system works fairly for everyone. They have freedom to make life choices, strong safety nets that reduce financial risk associated with changing jobs, starting a business, or pursuing education. So the country as a whole has a safety net for them, apparently, and a higher sense of individual freedom. There is a strong work-life balance, strong labor laws, enforced paid vacations, reasonable work hours, and the right to disconnect. So very often I work and then come home and work some more. If I'm not working on my job, then I'm doing this. My disconnect does not happen very often. This is why I'm a ray of sunshine. There's low income inequality. In other words, fairness for everyone. Robust welfare system and progressive tax structure that helps to minimize the income gap. They're more cohesive and less stressed. But wait, there's more. They have mixed market capitalism based on private ownership of businesses, free enterprise, and open international trade. They mix capitalism with extensive government intervention and ensure equality and stability. Yeah, so the only government intervention we have is that billionaires get to become trillionaires. This reminds me of the Kermit the Frog meme where he's got the little tea bag thing, and he's just like, but what do I know? Okay. So I asked AI, I said, is it likely that the United States could go that direction? Because we saw with the blue wave, the people that we elected were more, minded that way. We're tired of the Republican nonsense, right? So the answer AI gave, the U.S. is most likely to pursue a path of most likely to pursue. So this is the trend, actually, which is, I think, a good thing, to be honest. The U.S. is most likely to pursue a path of Americanized welfare expansion, which means incremental universal programs. Yay. So the trend is that, the people want that universal health care, child care and pre-K programs, health care for all via single payer system. So basically a voluntary public option. I could see that as, plausible. We are more likely to, after all of this nonsense, tax the wealthy to help pay for some of these things, because clearly trillionaires don't need to be trillionaires. Avoiding broad-based taxes on the middle class, which is how F45 has set us up. And labor reform, falling short of the Nordic collective, i.e. Finland. Falling short of the Nordic collective bargaining coverage. So the Nordic collective, which Finland is a part of, they all have this bargaining and trade agreement with everything. but our labor reform would not be what theirs is. Not likely, according to AI. But it does see strengthening unions and increasing the minimum wage. So I like those trends. I'd be happy with those trends. That's what AI thinks that the trend of the people is headed. So I found that curious as well. Okay. Yeah, I knew it was Cat Mommy thought it was Denmark. I knew it was somewhere up there. I just couldn't remember which one. So I'm like, I'm really curious. Magel Unicorn, you knew the answer. Look at you. I know I've heard it several times. Well, obviously, it's like, what did I say, 8 years in a row? So, yeah, 8 consecutive years. That's amazing. That's amazing. Skyfire, I would say Antarctica because there's no humans. Right? Seriously. New Zealand. The more I learn about New Zealand, I would love to visit. It was never really on my list of places to go. I'm a bit of, I never thought of myself as being a kind of a adrenaline junkie, but apparently people are telling me I am because of all the activities I like to do. So, but they have all the fun stuff. Like they have like really good zip lining, and they've got just like all the. In fact, I guess they started zip lining. I think I saw on one thing. I don't know. Did you guys? I love the show Outlander, and I read all of the books, and I'm a huge Outlander fan. And there's 2 of the stars of Outlander are friends in real life, and they started a show called Men in Kilts because it's based in Scotland. So Men in Kilts, and the first season of it was they were in Scotland, and then they went to New Zealand, and oh my gosh, it looks so amazing. I mean, just absolutely stunning. I would love to go to New Zealand at some point. I think it would be so fun because they have all these extreme sports and you could play. And I'm very broken inside from doing these things. My knees are shot, my back is shot, my hips are shot. Like I'm broken, but I still want to do them. But I can go ziplining. I don't need knees for that. It is sweet. So I want to go so bad. It'd be so fun. Aunt B, here in Tennessee, we lost trees that grew over the streams and shaded them. Now that the sun shines on the water, it changed the temp by just a few degrees, and we lost all kinds of fish and insects. Yeah, and the other thing is the algae blooms and that kind of stuff. That becomes a problem as well. So, yeah, that's sad. I'm sorry. That's sad. Aunt B, it does not take much to ruin an ecosystem. No, it does not. I'm a science nerd and love all things nature. Yay. Climate change deniers get on my, I know. I empathize and sympathize with that. Me too. They're the same. They're the same bots and trolls that just buy into whatever F45 and the GOP say. And the only reason they say that is because they are completely brainwashed by corporations who don't make money if we are earth friendly. So, or as much money. I mean, how is one able, they can't keep their billionaire and trillionaire status. I mean, what would they do? How could they survive? It's mind blowing. Yeah. A government for the people, shooting star. Who would have thought? I know. In the 50s, the rich were taxed at 75%. Yes. I believe they were until trickle-down economics, thank you, Reagan, who changed all the tax codes. So, yeah, they've been working on this plan for a while. This is not a new thing. F45 did not start this. No, this has been going on for a while. They have definitely been playing the long game. Billionaires are moving there. Yeah. Finland and Scandinavia in general have the happiest students. Can you imagine? It sounds so amazing. Oh, Edward! I just found your comment. Hi, Edward. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for joining in. Mangled unicorn, sawfish here in the Gulf, spinning in circles until they die. Oh, that's sad. That's just sad. Hmm. How they have, I think they're college students. I was going to say kids. They're not kids. They're young adults. College students have created these plastic eating garbage picker upper things for the oceans. Forgive my lack of terminology. I don't know what they're called, but you know what I'm talking about. There's some have developed microbes that will eat the plastic, and others have like little ocean vacuum things that clean up the ocean. Wouldn't it be cool if there were like kind of like AC, like cooling, like things that could cool. We could simultaneously, because they're putting some wind farms out in the ocean, but wouldn't it be cool simultaneously those wind farms also had a way of cooling the water around them? I probably wouldn't make enough of a difference. I'm sounding like F45 going, just inject bleach, because I don't know what I'm talking about, but it would be cool if they could do something like that. Okay, I'll stick to people who know what they're doing. I trust scientists. I am not one, although I have full respect for them, 100%. Many countries have free healthcare. Oh, yes. Aunt B says at Mangled Unicorn. Many countries have free healthcare, school, childcare, paid vacation, 1 year paid maternity. I had to go back after 3 weeks. They said, come at 3 weeks. My son was 3 weeks old. They said, come back to work immediately or you're fired. So at least things have changed a little bit. Anyway, 1 year paid maternity leave. Maternity and paternity leave. That's amazing. Hard to get fired from a job, so they tend to be happier and healthier. Yeah, most of the rest of the industrialized world has those things. We are bought and paid for by corporations who don't want that to happen. Mangled Unicorn said, yes, they're finding compounds in okra that will filter out microplastics. That's amazing. Ooh, I do love some okra. Oh, I got some. See, I'm from the Northwest. Okra is not like a normal thing here. Just for giggles, I'm like, I want to know what the dealio is, why it's a thing. And I saw some in the grocery store, some chopped up okra, frozen, in an old bag at the grocery store. I'm like, oh, that sounds good. So I put it in some soup and some stews. It was amazing. It tastes so good. I see the appeal. I like okra. I am an okra fan. Okay. Tax rate doesn't necessarily matter. The rich have many sources to shift their money to do something that isn't taxed, and they often live off the loans from their stock. That is true. 100% true. However, for the rest of us, taxes matter. I would much rather tax the wealthy, since it supposedly doesn't matter, tax them so that we could have some relief and we could actually have things that matter to us, like education and roads and bridges and stuff like that, that's actually paid for. I've never had fried okra. I would love to try it though. That sounds really, really, really good. They want us to be basic low-wage slaves. Yes, you are correct. We are just the worker bees. So, all right. So trying to think. There's so many topics I could read on tonight, and you guys have all thrown out a whole bunch of them. Cat Mom, do you mean ice cubes? I guess. Except ones that don't melt. I was thinking more like, kind of like air conditioning systems that cool the water, I like it. This is I'm sounding like a complete moron right now. I know this. Like, how like when you have a swimming pool, you can heat up the water. Can't you do the same and cool down the water? Put them in strategic places, at least in like little areas so like the sawfish don't go in circles and die. At least try to cool down little spots or something. I don't know. I'm a lunatic. Never mind. Entertainment and spiritual purposes only. Okay. So Mom Donnie, okay, an F-45. I just don't feel like, whenever I focus on that, if you guys haven't read or listened to Kamala's book, 100 Days, I got it on audio. And so I listened to it while I was driving to and from work into the hospitals. Because that's been my life lately. And she talked about her meetings with F-45 and how he was just like, he'd put on this very cordial air and even made comments to her of how am I supposed to, I actually, that he liked her, like, I like you. And now I have to insult you. Right. And so it was just this weird, like, he's just a showman deal. And I almost feel like it was because it wasn't expected for him to be nice. He put on the air of being nice just to give something for Fox News to go bananas over and talk about other than the Epstein case, right? Or files. So that's kind of what I feel like it is just illusion, delusion, distraction of I'm doing something that you don't expect. So ha ha ha. And that's, Mom Donnie goes in there and goes, hey, I'm talking civilly and I'm talking about the best things about New York. And yeah. And Trump's like, oh yeah, New York, good. I like New York. And then shows up for a press conference of, look, everybody, I can be civil and nice. And it makes the right go bananas. That's a little bit of revenge for them signing off on the Epstein file thing. And also gives a distraction for people to talk about. And literally, I think that's all it was. Just his little shiny objects that he throws out there, little sparkles, something for people to look at and talk about besides Epstein. That's what I think it was. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Actually, let's ask the Dowsing rods. Hey, is that all that was between F-45 and Mom Donnie? Was just sparkly things, illusion, delusion. Yep. That's yes. This is no. They're saying yes. All right. So yeah, that's all it was. Just a show. Nothing more than that. Con artist, 100%. Mom Donnie is leagues smarter than F-45. Way smarter. He's actually way smarter than most of them. So this will be really interesting to see how this goes. So, yeah. Yeah, but if F-45, agreed to the meeting or whatever, I mean, he's a mayor. How many mayors does he meet with? F-45 only met with him because he got a lot of publicity, right? So that's it. That's the only reason. And it was just for show. So, so climate change is a hoax. Right. Okay. T-Rex Granny, I just saw your comment. You bought your daughter a t-shirt that said, "What's on your mug?" I don't even know how this happened. I have a coffee cup collection now that honest to God, I don't know how it happened. Because it happened over like a 2-year span that all of a sudden people started giving me all these mugs, and I bought like 1 or 2 for myself, which is normal, for me, and because I went a couple places, I'm like, oh, that's cute, I got it, and then people started giving me these mugs, but they're all really cute and they're all totally me. So I'm like, oh, that's awesome. So, and I didn't want to get rid of any of them. So now I have this big, huge rack by my kitchen that all of these mugs are on. And so I pick my mug based on my mood or, the day or whatever's going on. So some of them aren't appropriate for YouTube. So I haven't shown those. This one I was debating it's not really appropriate, but we're all adults here. So, and thank you. Okay. I'm trying to scroll back to some of the questions to see. I don't know. I've lost some of the questions. I know there were a few different ones. Okay. Oh yeah, that's another thing. The 28-point plan for Ukraine. So apparently it was Russia's plan that F-45 regurgitated and said it was the United States plan, but it was actually the original Russia plan. And so now they're like, no, no, we're not going to do that. So that whole thing was just stupid. And F-45's like, this is my idea for this, take it or leave it. And Ukraine's like, this is literally Russia's plan and demands that they've had. So I think no is the original answer. So yeah. Anyway. I'm trying to find questions. I know there were a couple questions I noted and I was thinking, and again, I didn't write it down. It was in my brain. And so there it goes. Trump looked like he was crushing hard. It's all an act. Oh, well. Okay. I don't know. So, let's do, I'm going to do a quick pull on the week ahead. And then, believe it or not, it's already been almost an hour. That's crazy. Since it's Thanksgiving week, and there ought to be a lot of mega fodder, may the force be with you all and with me for Thanksgiving week here in the U.S. Goodness gracious. Okay. Let's see what the week ahead is looking like. Probably just do a 3-card pull and maybe a hard trick. Ooh, maybe a hard. Ooh, well that. So this just flew out of the deck. It's the death card. There may be some endings and new beginnings going on. So, all right, we'll see if one follows that. Okay. Maureen, you had a dream that the White House is on fire. Well, basically it is. Okay. This week, Thanksgiving. What's going to follow the death card? Come on. Yeah. Well, these two came flying out. The Knight of Cups. So for politics, and with ever since F-45, this has come out as the F-45 reality show card. Cups are emotion. He's even orange. Knights are action cards. So if you're reading somebody's tarot, this is often like the romance card kind of thing. But for whatever reason, it seems to pop out as F-45's reality show. So he's going to be, trying to keep attention on him because that's what he does. And now this is on Thanksgiving week. So expect some mega spiciness and some relationships ending, some and new beginnings for others. Probably surrounding the F-45 reality show that we all live in. And also the Three of Cups. So there will be some celebration, which hopefully is a good thing for Thanksgiving, that there will be some happy and celebratory times. And maybe the new beginning is we can put an end to this nonsense and we can move on. Or, I feel so much lighter now that I don't have to deal with my mega family. So you can celebrate. But the center attention is around the reality show that we live in. So may the force be with you all and with me. Is a turkey who will pardon named Elaine. Oh my goodness. Okay, we have been an hour. Thank you so much for joining, everybody. I'm going to call it for now, but Tuesday I'm doing a members only live. So for you members, I will see you then. And thank you so much, everybody. It was lovely hanging out with you. I hope you all have a happy and safe Thanksgiving, and we'll see you soon. Peace out.